Before you decide what's for dinner, you may want to double check your produce. The nationwide Cyclosporiasis outbreak is making many people sick.
WGEN's Haley Adams spoke to local health officials to learn more about the illness and what you should look out for.
The illness cyclosporiasis is not new, and for those who are afraid, there are ways you can be proactive both in getting treatment and knowing what to avoid. Cyclosporiasis is an illness caused by the parasite Cyclospora.
It's a microscopic parasite that exists on, unfortunately, produce.
Officials say bagged lettuce may be especially risky because cleaning practices of produce may not be enough.
The hard thing about Cyclospora is that it is very sticky, so it sticks to our produce, and traditional methods of washing don't get rid of it.
According to the FDA, ways to avoid the parasite is to discard outer layers of fruits and vegetables when possible, rinse produce thoroughly with clean water, be cautious with pre-washed or pre-cut produce, avoid cross-contamination, and to prioritize cooking any produce.
And so patients complain to us of nausea, upset stomach, sometimes a little bit of pain, but overwhelmingly diarrhea, and we're talking massive diarrhea.
And while the symptoms of it may initially seem like other stomach illnesses, cyclosporiasis can stay up to a few weeks longer.
Cyclospora causes a prolonged illness, a prolonged diarrhea, whereas if you have like a viral gastroenteritis, 2 days and generally you're getting over it.
Cyclosporiasis can cause dehydration and even hospitalization, especially for both younger and older patients, and for those with a weakened immune system. If you contract it, doctors say Cyclospora can be found through testing and treated by an antibiotic.
Be aware, don't panic, because we know what this bug is. We know how to get rid of it. We know how to treat it. So don't panic, but be aware.
Gillette also warns against trying to contract the illness for weight loss purposes, saying what people lose is primarily water weight, which will come back after proper hydration.
Thanks, Haley. And Gillette also said those who are older or more at risk for hospitalization due to dehydration.